So there was a crazy announcement of the PTR date and the huge patch notes that came out yesterday, but overlooked in that huge patch notes, there was actually another rune word that was never revealed before, and we're going to take a look at it right now. So I did a full overview of the entire patch notes. It's so incredibly long, and I didn't even take a first look at it before I went into it. I just went in blind. Ended up being a very long video, but there was so much to go over. Make sure you check that out. I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a card, I don't know, up over here somewhere. I don't know, somewhere like that, wherever the card goes. But this rune word is Obsession, and it is a staff-only rune word. On top of that, it uses a Zod rune, so a Zod rune is not particularly used a lot, but it is incredibly rare to find. On Battle.net, usually they're not that expensive just because there's so few uses for it. But so it takes a 6-socketed staff, so you can put the 6 runes in it. You got Zod, Ist, Lem, Lum, Io, and Nef. So looking right down, you get the Indestructible from Zod. You got a 24% chance to cast level 10 Weaken when struck. So it's not when striking, it's when struck. So that can be something, a little bit of safety thing, something that can a little bit help you out or whatever. 4 to all skills. Now that doesn't sound like a ton, but I'll explain a little bit after we get through all this why that's actually not a bad place to be. 65 cast rate, 68% hit recovery. The knockback comes from the Nef. It's kind of pointless, but we got 10 to vitality, 10 to energy. Increase maximum life 15 to 25%. Regenerate mana 15 to 30%. 60 to 70 to all resistance. Extra gold for monsters and magic find. Now you get that magic find from the Ist rune. You got to have some kind of magic find on that, I would feel like, as well. This is a incredibly all-around item right here. The 4 to all skills. Now, the reason that people are going to be like, well, a Hoto and a Spirit have 5, so this is garbage, let's get rid of it. The thing that you need to remember is that not only the rune word is the good part of this item, you got to remember the base too. And it's not going to be like, oh, it's the difference between making it in a base that just is not superior or a superior one. There's going to be such an incredible variety. You can make one of these because it's 4 to all skills with 3 to Blizzard, 3 to Glacial Spike, 3 to Cold Mastery. You have a Obsession staff for a Blizzard Sorceress. You could have one that could be 3 to Orb, 3 to Firewall, 3 to Fire Mastery. So you have an Orb Wall Obsession. And that's actually going to add like a bunch more damage than just having 1 more to all skills for the skills that you actually need. Now the 65 cast rate, if you think of a perfect Hoto, or we'll go ahead and use an Oculus for an example because there's a range on the Hoto, but for the Oculus, if you get the 35 FCR on a Spirit and you get the 30 FCR on an Oculus, it's the exact same cast rate, 60% hit recovery. It's actually a little bit more hit recovery, and specifically for this one, staffs, and for the Sorceress, 60% hit recovery is the breakpoint. The Spirit has 55, so you always have to put 1 little small charm in your inventory that has 5% hit recovery to get to that breakpoint. With this right here, you actually hit that breakpoint, so you don't have to worry about that 1 little tiny baby small charm down in there. Vitality and energy coming from what is that, the Lum and the IO, so that's good, you know, it's good to have on there. Increase maximum life up to 25%. That's quite a bit, and that'll help the survivability on your Sorceress. You get more regenerate mana. And another big one is this all resistance roll. Now, the Hoto can have up to 40 all res on it, is, I believe. And the Spirit has 35 to lightning, cold, and poison, I believe what it is, so it's missing that fire. So the all res on this is really better than the Spirit Hoto combo or the Spirit Oculus combo. It has a little bit less all res, but the Hoto doesn't have magic find and the Oculus then does. This has a little bit of magic find, it has gold find. So this staff is going to be better than the Hoto Spirit combo, but you have to find that really incredibly good base, and that's going to be the hard part. Those bases are what's going to be so valuable. For 6-socketed staffs, is an Archon staff possibly the only one that can get 6 open sockets? Maybe the lower version, a War staff. I can't remember all offhand. I know that an Archon staff can. So these 6-socketed staffs that get those, you know, 3 to Blizzard, 3 to Cold Mastery, and stuff like that on them, if it has all those things really super high, those are going to be more valuable than the runes that go into it, to be honest. It's going to be more valuable than the Zod rune if you find that incredibly rare base, because this staff, like I just said, this is going to be better than Oculus, Hoto, along with a Spirit for the Sorceress. So this is incredibly interesting. This is essentially what I wanted them to do. I was talking about doing it in an orb-only Runeword, but they did this so that you couldn't... A lot of orbs can all roll with 2 open sockets and stuff, but this one, 6 open sockets on a staff, that is the only bases that you can get is 6 open sockets on certain staffs. A lot of them, the max is 4. So there's a few varieties that can get 6 open sockets. And offhand, the only one I can remember, unless I went and looked it up again, is the Archon staff. So as examples of exactly what I mean here is actually a 6-socketed War staff. So yes, all of the versions of the staff that looks like this, the Archon, Rune, and War staff there can get the 6 open sockets. But take a look down at some other ones, such as this one right here. This one is only 5 open sockets, but it could get 6. And it has Energy Shield on it, Thunderstorm, and Chain Lightning. They did not all roll super high here, but imagine those could all roll as 3s, but it's going to be super uncommon. So if those got some more stuff, and I never even thought of Energy Shield because I don't use it, but a lot of the Energy Shield builds for like the Immortal Sorceress type builds and stuff like that, that's going to be a useful one. But you could go with Lightning Sorceresses, where you'll have Lightning Mastery, and then Static or something on there, so a strictly Lightning Sorcerer. So each one of these Obsession Runewords are going to be specific for a different type of sorceress. So it's incredibly interesting the way they go there. I'm super excited for the Fire one specifically because obviously Fire Mastery, Fireball, and Meteor, you use both of those fire skills to rack up a ton of damage, and that Fire Mastery is going to boost up that damage even more. That's one of the ones that I am most excited about, but it'll be wild to see what different ways that the balancing changes in the next season, the season 1 of Diablo 2 Resurrected, can go along with the different rune words and the different possibilities there are with Obsession in these 6 open socketed staffs. And it is definitely hard to even find examples of this type of stuff because nobody really ever picked up staffs before, but I particularly was picking stuff up to sell for gold so I can repair teleport charges on a Naj's staff just to teleport around. And I picked up, this is a class specific item for the sorcerers, but it is an orb, but you could get the same type of skills here for the staff that I found on this particular orb, and I saved it just in case they did come out with like a rune word specifically for orbs. The first season you wouldn't be able to do it, but the next season you would have this base in order to make the rune word in. And this one's a Crystalline Globe, but it has 3 to Cold Mastery, 3 to Blizzard, and then 2 to Firewall, along with Life as well. And it got, so that type of stuff, you can get Life and Mana along with it there, but it's only 1 off of the 3 for the Firewall. But for like a Blizzard Sorceress that had Firewall as a secondary damage to try to get around immunities and stuff, that's like exactly what you're looking for on the staff or something to make Obsession. This is going to be something that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to try to get my hands on one of these in season 1. If not, I'll be getting one, off a ladder after the season 1's over and trying it out or something like that. So hey, let me know what you think of this rune word. Peace out and keep slaying.